thing on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege to welcome you here tonight. Each of you have heard of the Oscars, you've heard of the Emmys, and you've heard of the Grammys. It is our pleasure to bring to you tonight the 48th year of the first annual Truman Awards, where our motto is, you know he's thinking it, but we're brave enough to say it. Your presenters tonight, myself, Mr. Bob Alou, Miss Ida Clare, Miss Sue Flay, and our Truman girl for tonight, Miss Carrie B. Way. Our first category for tonight is the appearance category. I resort to Miss Ida Clare.
Well, you know, on mission trip, there's not much time to get ready in the morning, so the men often skip the shaving part. So for our first award tonight will be the best beard category. How many of you have ever seen the movie Castaway? Well, tonight's winner played in the sequel called Where's My Razor? And the award tonight goes to Gentry Berry.
Also in the appearance category, some of us have more hair than others. Some of us have no hair. Some of us require more hair care products than others. Tonight's award for her performance in the sequel to Hairspray, aptly named Where's My Detangler, the award for best post-shower hairdo goes to Miss Stacy Puckett.
If you work in construction, you get hot, you get sweaty, you get stinky, you're just downright nasty. However, there was one construction worker who falls into the category of doesn't need a shower after working construction all day. This person came in looking absolutely fabulous after a day in the hot sun working all day. For the performance in the sequel to Pretty Woman, aptly called Pretty Woman Just Glistens, Miss Shanna Smith.
Now we all know there are many boys on this trip who would consider themselves studs. However, you have to reach a certain age and height to meet that stud category. So we discovered and invented the future stud category. For his role in the sequel of Justin Bieber's Never Say Never, called Always Say Caleb, the future stud goes to Caleb Puckett.
There probably isn't one of us who hasn't seen the TV show Wheel of Fortune. As beautiful as she is, she goes up and turns the letters. For his role as page turner in the sequel to The Notebook, also called The Music Book, this year's Best Vanna White Award goes to Mr. Ricky White.
Now we all know what tradition on mission trip is. There's always a couple who hooks up. You know they're a couple by they always sit together, you always see them together, and they spend all their time together. However, this year's couple is a little different. The cutest couple played in a sequel to When Harry Met Sally called When Isaac Met Chris. The cutest couple.
mission trip, tempers do flare, people get mad at each other. However, this time it came out on his head. For the role of the Maddest Hatter from Alice in Wonderland, and the sequel, Brian in Grillingland, goes to Mr. Brian Cleveland.
As you know, all week we've been playing basketball shortly after lunch. There have been many games, there have been many temper flares. However, this year there was a surprise basketball player. For his starring role in the sequel to White Men Can Jump, aptly named Old White Man Can Jump, this year's surprise basketball player award goes to Mr. Randy Walker.
There's a sequel to that movie? I did. It was called Some Can Jump, They Just Can't Land. So for the quickest injury award tonight goes to Mr. You got beat. Mr. Andy Odell.
This year we had many coaches. Coaches in sports count, true coaches. For a starring role in the sequel to We Are
Marshall!
Aptly named We Are
Molten!
The best coach award this year goes to Mr. Jerry Hughes.
In many different sports. There's softball, baseball, football, basketball. However, this time, it wasn't with ball. For our role in the movie Catch and Release, otherwise called Keep and Eat, goes to Bailey Easton and Miss Christy Benton.
Next, we would move on to the social category. Social. We all have a Facebook page. Most of us here have a Facebook page. Some of us are friends with each other. Some of us aren't friends with each other. However, for a starring role in the sequel of My Big Fat Greek Wedding called I Hope I'm a Groom Someday, this year's biggest flirt award goes to Mr. Justin Goodwin.
There was. But there's more ways to social network than just by flirting. You could like follow them around and tweet and Facebook and all that kind of things, right? Yeah. All right. So, but you know, most kids who do that, public school probably. However, we've had a surprise on this trip. We've had a homeschooler who is into social networking.
Wow.
Made a lot of friends, especially with the ladies. So this year, we have a Most Social Homeschooler Award. For his role in the sequel to the social network called Social Mission Tripping, the award goes to Mr. Zach Hughes. And
now we move on to our religion category. We all have demons in our lives, however, we have some very likely demons amongst ourselves. They've showed up here this week for their roles in the sequel to the movie The Devil's Advocate called Pretty Little Demons. We have Miss Lily Vondereau and Miss Carrie Beth Littleton.
As we go on mission trip, we're called to be Christ-like. Some of us are successful, some of us are not. However, one person here has been very Christ-like this week. For his role in Jesus Christ Superstar, this Most Christ-like on-stage award goes to Mr. Andrew Bell.
And
rest of us. We shall call you princesses. So we have a princess category for you today. And you know, one of my favorite princesses is Sleeping Beauty. So the Sleeping Beauty Award goes to, for her role in I Wish Donnie's Sermon Was a Little More Interesting, Linda Kinnemore.
Thank you.
Our princess theme. We also have a princess of construction. This person starred in the movie Don't Make Me Pull a Nail Because I Might Break a Nail. It goes to Del Duke.
Our next category is the miscellaneous category. There's one person here tonight who is very well known, not only throughout the church, not only throughout Moulton, but probably throughout the state of Alabama. His name is Neil Blackwelder. Now, each of us strives to be a little bit more like Neil every day. Let's face it, Neil's getting up in age. I'm sure that Neil has a bucket list. But for his starring role in the sequel to the bucket list called Don't Kick the Bucket, this year's Future Neil Blackwelder Award goes to Mr. Chris Bondurant.
Now we all know on a mission trip, one of the main rules is don't drive your own car once you get here. You have to ride in the church vehicles. However, there are some church vehicles you do not want to get in because they might be most likely to run off the side of the road. For his role in the sequel of Too Fast, Too Furious called Too Dangerous, Too Dodgy, the most likely to drive off the side of the road goes to Mr. Robert Hurd.
I would like to thank the Academy for this award.
Security, security.
Now, while some of you, I think I've seen everybody. However, there is someone who's been missing quite a lot this mission trip. So for the award for most absent from mission trip, starring in the sequel to the movie Star Wars called Spud Wars, C3 Potato. Oh wait, I'm sorry. He's not here to accept his award. Would the kitchen crew like to accept his award on behalf of him?
Now on mission trip, we all like to have fun. Some of us a little more than others. Some of us goof off. Some of us laugh. Some of us take it a little too far. For his starring role in the sequel to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, aptly called Truman Fancher Needs a Day Off, this year's Class Clown Award goes to Mr. Truman Fancher.
On a mission trip, you get to know a lot of people. You see them on Sunday in their Sunday finest and you think, oh, they're just cultured and educated and they're just so smart. Then you get to know who they are. And you sit down at the table with them and you have a conversation with them and you kind of scratch your